Hey, welcome back. This morning we're doing a little market update with one of my favorite real estate agents, Joselyn Reyes Brunelle with United Real Estate Gallery. Joselyn, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing? It's so good to be here with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad we could get some time together. Want to see what you got going on here. It's 2024. Like you said, we just sent the kids back to school this morning.
Yes,
So you've got some time to start thinking about your business and get the gears rolling forward. What do you foresee here in 2024? Getting your business reignited, and what's your plans here, and what are you focused on in the marketing area?
of course. So 2024, new year, new goals, new people to work with. I'm super excited. I feel like with all the recent news coming in within the last like 4 weeks, I feel like this is going to be a really good year. Interest rates are going down. You know a lot about that, more than me,
Mm-hmm.
of course. But I think that this is going to bring a lot of new buyers because there's been this like little concern of what's going to happen with the market. I still get like so many calls every week for the past year. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? There's been so many people thinking about, should I wait? Should I do this now? There have been sellers calling, buyers calling, and I think that what we're seeing right now, it's going to be extremely important of what's going to happen within the next couple of months
Right.
to have all this new pool of buyers coming in. So I've sorted out a little business plan for me,
Mm-hmm.
already working with a lot of people, already having conversation with many people. And I think it's going to be a really good year. 2024 is going to be a good year for real estate business and
I,
anyone
I
who wants to
I
get their home.
I saw an interesting reel. Actually, it's come up a couple times on. I don't know if it was on. Maybe it was because I was TikToking or Instagram or whatever. Um, one of these national real estate influencers, and she believed between January 3rd, which obviously was last week, to through June, July, August,
Yeah.
is going to be the bulk of the sales for this year, just simply because, well, for many different reasons, we still have a high demand, as you know, here in Northeast Florida,
Absolutely.
and um, the whatever the federal government can do to uh, make the economy look a little bit better than it is, obviously leading into the election, which I think they're kind of pushing against the tide. But I think that's why her mindset was, it's now through the summer that we've really got to really hit the road, be talking to a lot of people because everyone's looking to buy. It's just, I don't know if the word convincing them is the proper word,
I
but
think it's
making them
more
feel
about
good about it.
educating them.
What's that?
I feel like it's more about, instead of convincing them, it's more about education,
Hmm.
um, and bringing awareness. And I am seeing a lot of that, and people can see the picture and they can see the benefit. So it's going to be a really busy year, and it's going to be a year of don't sit and wait and keep watching any longer, because this year is going to be your year to go and get that house, to your year to do your upgrade, to do whatever you need.
Right. Would you agree, or what's your opinion right now, especially for these people that are sitting on the fence with all can the builders give any more incentives than they're already giving to try to make them comfortable enough to make that decision to grab into that new home construction, because all signs point that there's still going to be equity growth because our demand is so high that getting in now and taking advantage of all those incentives, you don't know how long those incentives are going to be there, or how long they can afford to give those incentives.
Correct. And when it comes to new build and all the incentive that they're offering, to be honest with you, I don't even think that it's going to be available by summer, because that's when normally most of the people want to go and make their purchases. We are seeing
Hmm.
the interest rate going down. The benefits of buying new construction right now is that they'll go ahead and they'll pay to get your interest rate by down. They'll give you all of your closing costs, money towards the home, upgrades, your blinds, washer, dryer, refrigerator, and all of that stuff. And
Right.
And this is going to be just for a limited amount of time. It's been going on for the last couple of months. I have had many buyers that purchased August, September, October of last year, and they were already at that time of the year purchasing at a 4.99, 5 point something, and getting really, really good deals. Not many people know about it, but right now there is great incentive going on with new construction. There's always a good option. And when new construction is not a fit for just everybody, there's people that they want a bigger lot or they don't want the HOA, and they want more freedom with their home. And like I say, they want a bigger land. So for those people, I'll say it's still a really good time to buy. Right now, you're not going to have that many, like 15, 20, 30 people bidding an offer on the same house. Right now, you have more rooms for negotiation. Sellers are willing to also, just like the builders, to buy down your rate with your preferred lender. It doesn't have to be just new construction. Like I am negotiating really good deals where we get closing costs covered, we get the rate buy down. We are doing all of that in resales too. I feel like not everybody's aware, and it's happening. But again, as the interest rate keep going down and as we see more people coming out to make that purchase, all of that stuff, it's going to disappear once again. And we're
Hmm.
going to see what we saw in 2021 with the highest and best 30, 40 offers. I had a home that I listed, and that was a record. I had received 69 offers in that home within like
Wow.
a matter of like less than 6 hours. I had lines of people waiting to go in the house. It was just craziness. And hey, I mean, 69 offers for only one buyer. So it's heartbreaking. It's
Hmm.
heartbreaking for the listing agent. It's heartbreaking for the buyer agent having to get the bad news. And yeah, it's a good market for the sellers, but it's very heartbreaking for so many other people.
No, I mean that is super advice right there. I mean you're giving the economics. The builders right now, I feel, I don't know their, I'm not looking at their balance sheet, but I really feel, at least the last 5 or 6 months. Of course, a couple of years ago, they didn't even want to talk to real estate agents. Now they're sponsoring real estate agent events. I
Yes.
see that there's a builder being a sponsor of our RE bar camp at the end of the month, and so they're they're invested. I think the builders are running a very thin margin to keep their crews busy because they don't want guys to lay guys off because homes aren't moving. So they've given all these incentives to keep a number of homes being built at all times, so everybody's maintaining along. But they're running thin on margins, and like you said, the interest rates start to drop. We start getting towards what Florida. We kind of, it's a 12-month game, but everyone always nationally, June, July, and August, people are moving because school's out, get to the new school, that kind of thing goes on, and uh, at that time, the builders got to recoup some of the money they didn't make right now,
Absolutely.
and like I said, not give those incentives. That's solid advice right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna happen. I've seen. I mean, we've been in the game for many years now, so um, it's coming. And the thing is that I've always encouraged my buyers, whether they were buying late last year, summer last year, or they were buying early this year, don't focus so much on the interest rate because as they go down, you always have the opportunity to refinance a house.
Right.
Keep a good credit, make your payments on time, refinance that house. And what we're seeing, like we're seeing the interest rates dropping, and per every point that they drop, your payments go down, like sometimes even a couple $100 a month.
Right.
So I will not be so worried about so much the interest rate. I will be more worried about price and the highest and best and everybody running to get those houses in a
Hmm.
couple of.
Well, I mean, how important, especially when you're out, you're going around and showing your buyers. There's only one house that has one address. It's the only one that has that location with that view or whatever it may be. That's important. That, like you said, don't be so focused on the interest rates. We can make a strategic offer. Maybe get a buy down if that's what you need. But the very important thing is every day that you come home from work, you got to pull into that driveway, and it's got to be the place where that puts the smile on your face.
Yes. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I feel like life is stressful as it is. We work so hard, then we take care of the children, and then we want to come home, and home is our safe space. It's
Hmm.
our peace, it's our little piece of heaven. So you do have to be in love with your home. You should have a house that you're proud of every time you park in that driveway and walk inside that house. So you are absolutely right. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Now, and there's no doubt we do have people on the other side. It's fine that they see it as more of a, if you want to use the word investment.
Yeah,
But the reality is, all forecasts right now are saying we're going to continue to see maybe single digits. I mean, we can't really have double digit equity increase because it's just unsustainable. Is that the word? Unsustainable. That's the word. Unsustainable. To have housing prices, but because our demand here in Northeast Florida is just so high that even what it will cost you to refinance, which we could talk. I could, if someone wants to call me, I could tell you how to do a no cost refinance, especially if rates drop significantly, like they
yeah,
did in 8, 9, and 10, where we were doing a lot of no cost refinancing. Tell you how to strategically do that, but the equity that will grow will pay for the refinance for you. But it's the important thing is get that address now and get involved, get off the rental game, basically, if you want to call it that.
yeah.
Um, if everyone doesn't know, Jocelyn grew up in Puerto Rico. Spanish
Yes.
was her primary language. Um, so you work a lot with the Hispanic community. Tell us a little bit what you got planned for 24 there, and what you're seeing in that market, as it's very strong here in Jacksonville.
Absolutely. I'm still very involved with the Hispanic community here in Jacksonville. I've helped so many Hispanic here families that pretty much they're the one reaching out to me now and calling me, but I am still very involved in every Hispanic activity that comes into town. We are talking, we still do radio to promote real estate in Spanish, and we try to bring awareness to the community, and we try to like educate the Hispanic community here in Jacksonville. I've seen the growth that I've seen here in Jacksonville overall since I came in 2007 and now has been phenomenal. And with that, obviously, we have seen a growth also in the Hispanic community moving in from everywhere, not just Puerto Rico, but Colombia, Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, Peru, Nicaragua, from so many places, and it's good seeing a variety of people. It's good seeing so many new workers, and it's good seeing how much our city has grew. So I'm still very involved. I'm still doing real estate radio in Spanish. That's what I have radio. Normally it goes in weekly, and I'm still working with a lot of the Hispanic community, but I work with pretty much everybody, and I'm all over the place from Jacksonville, Middleburg, Orange Park, San Agustin, St. Johns County, like everywhere. Daytona, Lakeland, Orlando.
Oh,
I've
wow.
calls everywhere, and every time I got to go out of Jacksonville, it's normally with a Hispanic family.
What are their needs? Are you finding their needs different than uh, your northeasterner coming down here from New York? What are the Hispanic, if you were marketing to the Hispanic community, what do you think their needs are to help them get into home ownership?
So honestly, it has changed tremendously within the last 3 years because first, budget was very restricted. Now, not so much with so many people changing works and growing within their careers and all of that stuff. But normally, when I'm dealing with the Hispanic community, most of them are looking for resales. They are not the ones too into the new construction. And the reason why is because they like having the space. They like having the space. They don't want to have the restrictions. They don't want the HOA. A lot of my Hispanic community, I'm seeing a lot of like truckers and people who want to be in places where they have at least an acre of land or more. They are looking for things that are not so much in the city, but in the outsides of the city. And that's what I'm seeing most with them.
What when you start getting out there where you are able to buy semi affordable land? Are you finding literally land that hasn't been developed yet type of thing where you're able to buy a lot, or maybe it has an older manufactured home on it, getting a new manufactured home? What are you seeing on the outskirts, as like you said, when you're out there looking for land? Because obviously trying to buy land in Ponte Vedra, that's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna be $1 million, but so you got to
that.
go a little further out a little bit. What are you finding out there?
So pretty when it goes, let's say we're gonna go to Meadowburg, that's what we are finding, manufactured homes, and sometimes brand new or new condition or completely renovated. Sometimes they are just doing their own
Hmm.
and getting the land. And sometimes we're getting houses that are more houses of the 60s, 70s, and even 80s that have the big lot and that it will work out because there's no HOA on them.
Right.
But it's getting difficult because there's not much. I mean, there still is, but like you say, the areas. I have a lot of people that want the land, but they want to be in Duval, and that's really hard right now. In Duval, having the land, like, oh, I want to be in Beach Boulevard, Beach and Southside. Can you get me 3 acres there? I mean, there's none there.
Yeah.
Like say you want to go to Ponte Vedra, but I mean, do you have $2-3 million ready? And there's not many options to pick from.
Right.
So I will say, like, you go to Green Cove, there's some options. You go to Middleburg, there's some options. The area of Yulee, Callahan, it's getting pricey up there because there's a lot of growth in there. But I mean, it's some work, but I do like it. I enjoy it. It's a good
Well,
challenge.
for someone who's looking for that, I mean, it's important right now for them to call you
Yep.
and for you to get on the hunt, because it may take 2 or 3 months. You just don't know when that property is going to come available, or or someone passes away, which a lot of these older homes, as go out towards Stark and so forth. A lot of times that's how this land comes up. Someone passes away, the siblings don't live here, so they're just just sell it, and you just don't know when that's going to happen. So you don't want to get on Jocelyn's list 2 months before your lease ends up. You want to get on it now, and get as much time as possible. In the buyout of the lease, I'm sure we could figure that out, to get you out of that lease should you find the right property. But the reality is, it's not, these are not popping up every day. You got to got
Right.
to get on a search. Yeah. Um, Affordable housing, because it's not, when you start going out there, obviously price point is lower. Are you finding some of these smaller, independent builders that are doing 2 or 3 homes at a time type of thing in those areas?
Yes, I am. I actually started working a couple of weeks ago with a investor, and we started some of the options that we were looking were into new construction from smaller construction companies, and there's actually some good options here in Duval, in actually pretty decent areas. And I was looking with them at a couple of options, all of them for under $300,000.
Hmm.
Really nice houses. You still get the granite countertop. You still get the nice floors and all of that stuff. 2-car garage and all of that.
The thought just went through my head because I don't know if you saw my podcast with Mercedes St. George a few weeks ago, and she's
No.
inexperienced, young, experienced. It's amazing the knowledge she had. But talking about flipping, but in your case, locating, some of these older homes that aren't in HOAs and so forth. Some of those homes, I'm sure you run across. Your buyers walk in and go, "Oh, yeah, it's not something they want to do. They're not a renovator, right?" But to link up with some of these investors, or someone might say, "Hey, I've got a buyer. They're willing to that we can they can afford to pay 300,000. I can get you in this home for or buy this home that needs a lot of work for 200 and put 50, $60,000 into it, and then I have a buyer already matched up at the end, and hopefully 6, 9 months when the renovation is done." Are those opportunities out there?
There are. There's not many. I will say that. There's not that you're gonna find a whole pool of like homes to choose and pick from. So you got to be aware of the areas, and you got to do your homework. But there, I am finding opportunities. I do have investors that are just like that, that tell me, hey, this is my budget. If you know of anything, I don't care about the area, or this is the areas that I want, and I go ahead and I find them. So yes, there is the opportunity to do that, but right now it's very limited
Hmm.
because when we saw COVID coming and all of those changes happen, I feel like a lot of investors came from up north and from the West Coast, and they grabbed most of what we had back then.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of competition in
Yeah.
that arena because I mean, Jacksonville's an old city. It's an old military, the naval base and so forth. You have a lot of those older houses, um, you know, that were built back post World War II that now are, being that, been renovated to find the gem. They're out there, but you've got to have your ears up and be talking to connected to the, wouldn't say the connected to the people that hear about those opportunities, I guess, right? So 2024 is here. You're re-engaging. Where do you feel is going to be the sweet spot for you when in your marketing campaign? You guys are talking at United Real Estate Gallery. The experts are coming in. Where are you molding your 24 campaign? I'm hearing a lot from, obviously I because I put a lot on social media. I'm also a connoisseur of social media, so I hear a lot working your past database. What is your focus in here going into 24 for your business?
Of course, thank you for the question.
Mm-hmm.
So, this year, my goal is to help new people. I want to reach out as many new customers as I can. I always like engaging and meeting new families, new prospects. I love working with investor. I still love working with the Hispanic community. I'm gonna always do the Hispanic community, but that it doesn't stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a few things planned that we're going to be launching in the next 2 months, um, with the radio, but out of the radio too. I'm getting involved in a few projects, where I'm going to be talking about that soon. But again, like I'm coming on 6 years and almost 200 families that
Mm-hmm.
I've helped, and it's been a blessing. And it's not going to stop there. I have a lot of referral. All my past clients keep pushing my name and referring me out, and my hands are full. So more than likely, I might have to add a buyer's agent and do like a small team or something like that. Maybe that's where we're going to be heading. But we're going to be busy this year, and it's going to be a good.
What if you were talking in front of a room of agents right now at gallery or something? You're just doing a training. What are some of the basics that you do in staying in touch with that past database, or or do you have maybe changing that up? What are a couple of things that you like doing that you think gets the best return, as far as reaching out and touching them?
So, to be honest with you, social media does help a lot. It's not everything, but it helps a lot because you are in contact with these people and they're often seeing you. It's not about just asking for sales or showing a product. It's about people want to know you. They
Mm-hmm.
want to know everything about you. What are you up to? What are you doing with your personal life and with your career and all of that stuff? Aside from that, obviously, a lot of emails, mailing them with new information, with new data, what's going on with the market, what's happening. Um, I love texting, and I know that a lot of people that I've had help in the past, they're all about text more than phone calls. So I text them often, like every holiday, Mother's
Mm-hmm.
Day, Father's Day, birthdays. I remember that. I remember home anniversaries. I have a list, and I try to send a card on home anniversaries,
Mm-hmm.
coffee dates, stuff like that. Um, New agents, sometimes they don't have the database, they don't have the sphere of influence. So I always say, like, hey, believe it or not, Sitting down in open houses help a lot. Surround yourself with agents that have the experience and knowledge and learn from them. Another thing that's been a big hit of mine since the beginning of my career was connecting with other agents, but I don't connect with other agents just in Jacksonville. Like, obviously, I do have a lot of good connections here in Jacksonville, but I have agents all over the states and even out of the country. And we follow each other, and I stay in contact with a lot of them. And guess what? First time somebody is like having somebody go to Jacksonville, they think about me first. So I
Mhm.
get a lot of referrals through other agents that sometimes have never met in person, that we are just social media friends. So I feel like all of that stuff help. And for new agents, definitely do open house, go door knocking. Sometimes we get to do things that we are not too comfortable with or we are not too confident in, but it's about getting out of your comfort zone. It's about getting out of that box and and doing it. And honestly, I've been really blessed.
What are some ways you connect with these agents outside? You said social media, so obviously all of us, in our profiles and our bios, whatever, say real estate, and obviously me mortgage, and you're in sales. So the social media sends us uh, other people who are in real estate, right? That we might be interested in or stuff. So they're throwing that in front of us. What are some ways that you've actually reached out? Like you said, you've never met some of these people face to face, but you've created and made contact with them through social media. How did you do that?
So normally I have a lot of people that reach out to me, and if they send me a private message or something like that, most of the people, believe it or not, they just like my content. They like the positivity that I put out there. They like the content. And it's been also me liking their content, me making a comment like, hey, that was really great. Like, that was some good information. Sometimes I take ideas from there. You'll get to learn and take so many ideas from that. And believe it or not, it just take a simple direct message, a simple DM, private message, whatever you want to call it, and saying, hi, my name is Jocelyn. I'm a broker associate in Jacksonville, Florida. Um, it's good connecting with you. If you ever come across anybody in the Jacksonville or Florida market, like, let's connect. Simple things like that.
Right, right. And I would imagine, I mean, obviously everyone would say, well, she's bilingual, so it makes it easier. Well, yeah, it probably does because she can reach out to other bilingual agents in Miami or whatever, all over the country,
Yes.
because obviously that community is big, but it's small. And, someone they understand, or they're in the same church and say, oh, we're moving to Jacksonville. Oh, I know an agent there. She's bilingual as well. But, that makes it gives you a little bit in, but someone who may not have that skill, um, just the fact that they know you, they see you on social media, that hey, you are human, and
Absolutely.
have kids or whatever it is, that's
Yes.
important as well.
We all have something that makes us unique. We all have
Right.
something that it's, I'm Jocelyn. Yeah, I mean, you are Tracy. There's things about you that nobody else is going to have. And sometimes you click and connect with people like that. And when they have somebody that's going to the Jacksonville market or that area, wait a minute, Tracy, you
Hmm.
were so special because of something that you say, or because of your character, or because of what you post. And people come back, and let me tell you, it works.
Well, I try to keep these to 30 minutes. We're at 29. Anything you like to add, Jocelyn, to tell your audience, our fellow real estate agents, fans, today here to finish
No,
up?
I'm with United Real Estate Gallery still. I love the company. Any new agents that want to join, we have so many benefits going on. I've coached so many agents throughout the last 6 years. So, any new agents out there that is looking for motivation, a coach, and a little help, feel free to contact me.
We're really just, can they call you and go get a cup of coffee? You can tell them the details of what's going on, why,
Yes.
obviously why you're at United, but just, form a partnership. It's to have
Yes.
advocates out there, and whoever, you never know who's going to be on the other end of that deal.
Absolutely. Every Wednesday, I try to meet with a new agent and we go over the same thing. So, yes.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you coming on this morning.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
No problem. You have a super day. We'll talk to you soon.
You too.